Have you ever looked at a couple and wondered why one person simply cannot walk away? The strange part is that it is not always because of beauty. It is not always because of money. It is not even because of love. Sometimes, someone stays because of something much deeper. Something they cannot even explain. You may have seen it before. A woman knows a man is not perfect. She sees his flaws. Her friends tell her to leave. Her family warns her. Even her own mind tells her something feels wrong. But her heart refuses to listen. Why? What is happening inside the human mind that can create such a powerful emotional pull? The answer is more surprising than most people think. Because people rarely become attached to perfection. They become attached to meaning. And meaning is one of the strongest forces in human life. Carl Jung believed that much of our behavior comes from parts of ourselves that stay hidden. According to his ideas, every person carries old patterns deep inside the mind. These patterns shape who we trust, who we admire, who we chase. Sometimes we think we are choosing someone. But in reality, something inside us made that choice long before we understood why. This is why two women can meet the exact same man and feel completely different things. One feels nothing. The other cannot stop thinking about him. The man did not change. The hidden meaning inside each person's mind did. But there is another layer that makes this even stronger. Human beings naturally value what feels difficult to get. Psychologists have found that uncertainty often creates stronger emotional attention than certainty. Think about checking your phone. If someone always replies in the same way, it becomes predictable. But if the replies come at random times, your mind keeps wondering. Not before it. This is where many people become confused. Movies often teach us that love should always feel dramatic. Big fights. Big emotions. Big surprises. But real emotional safety often feels much quieter. It is built through trust. Consistency. Respect. Small moments repeated over time. Those moments may not look exciting on social media. But they create something much stronger than temporary excitement. They create peace. And peace is often underrated. Nietzsche once suggested that people become stronger by facing themselves honestly instead of escaping into comfortable illusions. Relationships can become mirrors. Sometimes the person we cannot stop thinking about is not showing us who they are. They are showing us something about ourselves. Maybe a fear of being left. Maybe a need to feel chosen. Maybe an old wound we never healed. This does not mean every strong attraction comes from pain. Many healthy relationships begin with powerful attraction. But it does remind us to ask an important question. What exactly am I attached to? The person? Or the feeling they create inside me? Those are not always the same thing. Imagine standing in front of a beautiful lake. You see your reflection in the water. You smile because the view looks perfect. But are you looking at the lake? Or are you looking at yourself? People can become mirrors like that. Sometimes we fall in love with the future we imagine. Not the reality standing in front of us. This is why expectations can become dangerous. The mind is an incredible storyteller. It fills empty spaces. It creates hope. It imagines conversations that never happened. It builds a future from very little information. And once that story feels real, letting go becomes much harder. Because we are no longer leaving a person. We are leaving the future we imagined with them. Modern psychology also reminds us that early life experiences can shape adult relationships. Researchers studying attachment have found that the ways people learn to trust, connect, and seek comfort as children can influence relationships later in life. These patterns are not destiny. People can grow. People can heal. But understanding them helps explain why two people may react very differently in similar situations. One feels calm when their partner is busy. Another immediately fears rejection. The event is the same. The inner story is different. This is why emotional awareness matters so much. Not to judge ourselves, but to understand ourselves. Because once we understand the story inside us, we stop blaming every feeling on the other person. We begin asking better questions. What am I afraid of? What do I truly need? What keeps pulling me back? Those questions often lead to freedom. There is another idea that many people overlook. People usually do not stay because someone is perfect. They stay because they feel understood. Everyone wants to feel seen. To feel accepted without wearing a mask. To feel safe enough to speak honestly. When someone creates that feeling, the connection becomes much deeper than physical attraction alone. This is one reason emotional intelligence matters so much. Listening carefully. Keeping promises. Showing respect. Remaining calm during disagreements. These simple actions may look ordinary. But over time, they build extraordinary trust. Trust is quiet. It does not demand attention. It simply grows. And unlike excitement, trust often becomes stronger with time. Perhaps that is the biggest misunderstanding about attraction. People search for intensity. But they stay for stability. They search for butterflies. But they build a life with peace. The strongest relationships are rarely built on emotional storms. They are built on thousands of small moments that quietly say, I am here. You matter. You are safe. Those words may never even be spoken. But they are felt. And feelings repeated over time become beliefs. Maybe that is the real lesson. People do not become deeply attached because someone learns secret tricks. They become deeply connected because certain experiences speak to something already living inside them. Sometimes those experiences help us grow. Sometimes they reveal wounds that still need healing. The difference depends on whether the relationship brings more peace than confusion. More honesty than games. More trust than fear. The next time you wonder why someone cannot let go of another person, look beyond appearance. Look beyond charm. Look beyond first impressions. Ask yourself what invisible story is being told beneath the surface. Because every relationship has two conversations. The one happening between two people. And the one happening inside each person's mind. The second conversation is usually the one that changes everything. So here's a question worth thinking about. Have you ever been attached to a person, or were you really attached to the story you created about them? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy videos that explore psychology, philosophy, and human behavior in simple ways, don't forget to subscribe. There are many more conversations like this waiting for you.